Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to our session. Today, we will be working on our session 7. And let me admit our participants as usual. Well, actually, there aren't many things, let's say, to add tonight. We are going to begin our unit 10. This is our final unit. And we will be talking about injuries and illnesses. Let me present, let's put it like that, the unit officially before I take attendance. That would be it. Of course, there are some aspects that we will be reviewing tonight. And of course, you will be refreshing those aspects when you do the activities in the virtual campus. Guys, once again, like I will be repeating like today and tomorrow, and of course on Monday, do not forget the activities in the virtual campus. We're about to finish our cycle 3. That means that on Tuesday, the activities should be finished. I hope that actually you are advancing as much as possible. So we don't have, let's say, problems, but I know that it won't be problems. Okay, before I take attendance, I'm going to start with a Kahoot. As I was telling you a few seconds ago, let me go back. In this case, our unit 10 is talking about injuries and illnesses. And the first activities that we have in our book actually, let's say, includes a lot of this vocabulary. So while you still take part of the lesson, I'm going to send you the link to the chat. And I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for you to, one, take part of the Kahoot. And before we begin the game, I'm going to take attendance, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and then we start. What is the music? Ah, yes, I turned it off for a moment. And let's wait. Let's wait until 6:07. Also, we give the opportunity to our other classmates to take part of the session. We take attendance and then we begin. Okay, guys, 6:07. As I was telling you a few seconds ago, I'm going to take attendance before we start the Kahoot, okay? So I'm going to change the screen for a moment. Let me see the chat. Olympics. Don't scare me. Actually, the problem is like with the cooler. Oh, we'll see. Sergio David Gomez. Not here for the moment.
Yes, teacher, present.
Okay, Sergio, there you are. Let's continue with Andres Felipe Jaimes.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jennifer Paola Martínez. here for the moment. She already, let me check one thing. Bueno, con el micrófono abierto, pilas ahí. Kiara Lizeth Martínez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Jorge Jair Moreno.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Diego Fernando Olarte. Not here for the moment. Oh, yes. Bueno, lo veo conectado. Ya nos contará. Dana Valentina Ortiz. There is in the chat. Diego, Dana no está. Manuela Ortiz. There you are. Joan Sebastián Pavón. No está todavía. Beatriz Omaira Pedraza.
Present.
Hamilton Peña.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Xiomara Caterine.
Present, teacher.
Very good. Jessica Paola.
Present, teacher.
Okay, let me write something down. Listo. Caterina Alexandra Rodríguez.
Present, Miss.
Okay. María Alejandra Rosso. Ah, no, sorry. She already sent the information. Marlon Yesid Sánchez.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Let me write something down. Mandy Fabian Santa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Karen Juliet Torres.
Present.
Very good. María Alejandra Vega.
Present.
Good, María Alejandra. Vanessa Zambrano.
Present, teacher.
And Natalia Navarro.
Present.
There you are. So it seems like most of us are here
Present.
already. ¿Quién dijo present así, out of the blue? Salió un present así a lo último de la nada. Ok, Natalia, pero te había escuchado, no problem. Just to confirm, the ones that are absent would be Dana Valentina, Juan Sebastián, and well, the others have or excusa or already failed. Okay. Let me go back. Remember, guys, well, some of you have just, let's say, taken part of our session. We're going to begin our final unit of this cycle 3. And basically, the idea is to refresh our memory talking about illnesses and diseases. That is going to be the idea of this Kahoot. If you just took part of this session, let me send you the link one more time. There are 10 people, sorry, and you are supposed to be 14. So I hope that most of you can take part of it. I want to give you maybe 1 minute once again. So the more, the merrier. 14. Okay. I think that we can start as I was telling you. That's nice. The idea is just to refresh our memory in terms of the vocabulary related to diseases and illnesses. Let's see. How much you remember? All the questions are the same. They start with what's the matter? Look at the picture. And then you choose. A backache, very good. Let's say that the tricky part is that the two, let's say we can't separate the words. Would be like that way to explain it. Excellent, Natalia. A black eye, in this case, the two words are separated. Let's refresh that memory. Very good. Let's see if we had any changes. Catherine, excellent. Let's continue. What's the matter? A broken leg. In this case, broken is like the adjective that is describing in, according to the context, this noun, which is leg. That is why it goes first. Okay, Catherine is still in first place. What's the matter? A bruise, yes, careful with the spelling. The blue one, it's somehow how it sounds, but in the spelling we have to use an I. And Catherine, no changes, okay. It's a cold, very good. Remember that in this case, we're not talking about like weather. Would be what we call a resfriado. Andres, very good. Oh my God, what happened? A cough. That's just like this. The T adds like a different meaning to the word. So talking about in this case, like the illness, let's put it like that, is without T. Now Marlon is the first one. Interesting Kahoot tonight. Well, that was easy. I'm not going to expand on it. Next. Okay, very good. I'm pretty sure that up to this point, and including what you remember, you have already noticed like the pattern that words have when they have this suffix ake. But anyway, I will ask you that when we finish the Kahoot. Catherine, nice Kahoot. Okay, very good. A headache. Yara is almost there. Careful, Catherine. A runny nose. Okay. That's vocabulary. Marlon is there. A sore throat. Now you see also like the pattern where we're using the words sore. Yeah. Very good. Notice that in all the cases, the word sprained, it's like, okay, well written. The thing was the word to make reference to what we call el tobillo, which is the ankle. Stomachache. Well, at this point now we can, let's say, officially say that when we're using the suffix ache, it can't be separated from the word that it refers the pain to. Notice that all the different words that have include ache are all together. We can't separate like the case of the blue one. So keep that in mind. When we're talking about this type of suffix, we can't have two words. Let's say that the proper combination would be one word in the case of ache. Kiara. To finish. Don't worry, guys, both of them are correct. We can use at fever or we can use at temperature. They mean just exactly the same. The final one. Well, you already know. Remember what we said, when we have the suffix ache, it has to be only one word. Well, let's see who the winners are in this first Kahoot, talking about, as I was saying, illnesses, but in this case, it's more like injuries as well. Maria V, Catherine, and the winner. Yeah, very good. We have our runners up, Sergio and Beatriz. Well, guys, excellent. That was the idea of this first Kahoot. As I was telling you, talking about some vocabulary related to injuries and illnesses. Let me put this sound. This is what we were doing, talking about the words. And okay, as I was telling you guys, officially we begin our unit 10. The name of unit 10 says take care. Let's see the different aspects that we will be studying on this unit. Let's put it in here. Let's read them. We have, in terms of grammar, we will be talking about past continuous and used to. Actually, tonight, we're talking about past continuous. In terms of vocabulary, we will be talking about accidents, injuries, and feeling ill. The idea of the Kahoot was actually to refresh our memory, talking about some among many possibilities, let's put it like that, of words related to accidents and injuries. And the task will be choose the funniest story. And to finish our unit, the language live, we'll be talking about health, time, words in a narrative. Okay, let me give access here to someone. And then we start. Here we're going in our book on page 88. Here we have a text which title says, what is first aid? Guys, do you remember the meaning of these words, first aid?
Primeros auxilios.
Very good. So, of course, in a very general way, because I know that some of you are experts from the field of health, in your mind, according to your experience, you would provide a more comprehensive explanation in which moments it is appropriate to provide first aid. But in this case, we're going to focus like on very, let's say, general aspects, like the most simple ones. I'm going to put it like that. Of course, the idea is not only to read the text. Here we have 4 questions that you will eventually are going to answer. Let me see the chat. Okay, Valentina, don't worry. I'm going to write down that on the list, but in a moment. First, I'm going to give the instruction and then I will make the adjustment on the attendance. Hopefully, Nancy doesn't call you in the meantime. I was telling you that we're going to read the questions. Andre Felipe, please, could you read questions 1, 2, 3, and 4? Ok, bueno, ahorita en la asistencia sí lo escuché. Pero bueno, me queda viendo eso. Let me ask Sergio, could you please read the questions 1, 2, 3, and 4? Sergio?
Okay, teacher.
Just to read the questions, we haven't read the text yet.
Okay, the first one is when did you give first aid? The second one, who can give first aid? The third one, what is the first thing you do when giving first aid? And number 4, what is the second thing you do?
Okay, second. That's it. So very, let's say, easy questions. I'm sure that you already noticed. Well, actually, that is one of the trends, that our questions are very literal. It doesn't mean that they are like 100% easy to find, but let's say that it decreases a little bit the possible level of difficulty. Let's see, we already know the title. It says, what is first aid? Let's start with the first paragraph, Beatriz. Only the first paragraph.
What is first aid? First aid is the help you give someone when they are ill or injured before doctors arrive. Continue?
Yes, the paragraph, Patricia.
Okay.
Mhm.
Paragraph. All right. People who give first aid are ordinary people who are near the person in need. Sometimes they are trained to give first aid, but even if they are not trained, someone who guides first aid could save your life.
Who gives? Mhm. That's it,
Yes,
Beatrice.
okay.
Thank you very much. And the second paragraph, Diego, please, could you read it?
Yes, teacher. There are two basic rules of first aid. Firstly, you need to get the person out of danger. This could mean trying to stop bleeding or moving the person away from the middle of a busy road. Secondly, you need to get help quickly. In Britain, you need to phone 999 or 112 to get an ambulance.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Just two words in terms of pronunciation. Here, basic, and then busy. That would be it. Thank you, Diego. Okay. Well, guys, it says work in pairs, but as I was telling you, the questions are really easy and the text is not that long. So actually, you don't really need to work in pairs in order to identify the answers of these questions. Anyway, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes for you to scan the text one more time and answer the questions. And of course, you will answer the questions. Well, let's say that we will answer the questions all together as a group. Do you have any question, guys, about the instructions?
Teacher, we can answer in negative form.
Well, if it matches the idea, yes. While
Thank you,
the
teacher.
statements make sense, it is okay. Then we'll see in which
Teacher.
part you consider that it could be negative and we can compare. Yes?
Okay, teacher, I have a question. The answer this question is necessary for the read the information, or maybe you complement. I can complement about the experience or the noun.
We can do both, Beatrice. Like first,
Okay.
according to the article, but also in your case that you belong to the field of health, you can provide extra information in order to enrich what it is presented here in the text. Actually, that would be
Okay.
great.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Perfect, guys. Yes, any other question? Right, guys, 5 minutes starting now. Okay, same up. The idea was to answer the questions, and also I was telling you that if you could expand a little bit based on your experience, because somehow some of you belong to the world of health, that would be awesome. Let's start with question number 1, Hamilton. When do you give first aid? Let's say that for the moment, let's focus on the information that the article provides. So what do you have for number 1?
Yes, teacher. I give first aid when the people are ill or injured before doctors arrive.
Good. That is like a very specific moment to add. That would be Hamilton. Thank you. Guys, from your experience, the ones that belong to the world of health, any other aspect that we could include here when to give first aid? Someone who raises the hand.
Teacher, maybe when the people have an accident, an accident for car or motorbike, or job, no? Accident or in job, at job.
At work.
At work.
Okay, good. Okay, Beatriz, perfect. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at question number 2, Jorge. Who can give first aid?
Sometimes they are trained person or even untrained persons who are near the person in need.
Okay, perfect, Jorge. That's a good summary. Very good. What about question number 3? Karen Juliet, what is the first thing you do when giving first aid?
The first thing is to get the person out of danger.
That was like the information from here. Perfect. Something else that we can add? The expert people from this group, besides the piece of advice that they are giving us in here, like to get the person out of danger?
Trying to stop landing or moving the person away from the middle of a busy road.
Okay.
Teacher, not only the person injured, we should get out of the danger.
Get out of danger. Okay, absolutely. Okay. And that is the first thing. And what about the second thing to do? Katerina Alexandra.
Help quickly.
Help, help or get help?
Get help quickly and maybe phone to emergency or get an ambulance.
Phone an emergency line or an ambulance. In our case here in Colombia, in Bucaramanga, which is the phone for emergencies? The number, sorry, for emergencies.
911.
123. 911 here in Colombia, no. Does it work, 911?
Yes, but is the police?
Yes. 911 in
sí.
Colombia? I mean, if we dial 911, do we have a response from the police in Colombia?
Yes, miss.
No, I'm just asking, I don't know. I know 123.
123 is an ambulance or another
123 is an emergency number.
Okay. But here in Colombia, does 911 actually mean something? We know that for the movies and etc.
Teacher,
But
es la policía,
my curious
creo.
thing.
No. The
No?
911 isn't a number.
It's the American number, right, Mandy? I mean, that is not part of our official numbers in Colombia, that because of movies.
Yes, only movies.
Yeah. I know that it is
Teacher, voy
1,
a
2,
llamar
3.
a ver quién contesta.
Ay, Hamilton, le llega la D y luego, ¿qué hacemos? No, no, no. No, but I'm pretty sure that is just the American one. But anyway, let's see what Hamilton gets from calling 911. Well, guys, the next part is taken from the different pictures that we have in our book. I just put them here all together so it's easier for us, you know, to identify and to do the exercise that is being expected. Let's have a look at the instruction. I'm gonna read them for you. It says, look at the photos. Which accidents and injuries in the box do you associate with each photo? Look at the words and phrases that we have in here. Break your arm, get a bee sting, cut your finger, get a rash, burn yourself, and faint. So look at the images, look at the phrases that we have in here, and let's match. And I know that it is like pretty easy for you, but the idea is to recognize what is happening in the image, of course, related to the phrases that we have here. Let's call it in the box. Okay, Hamilton. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know. I know that police is 1, 2, 3, but maybe because of how famous the number is, now it means something here in Latin America. But I have to accept that I have no information or experience whatsoever. Well, guys, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes to analyze the phrases as I was telling you, and then to match them with what we have here presented in the pictures. It's exactly the same. Let me go back to our book a little bit. So don't think that I'm taking like pictures from another place. Let me zoom out. Just the same, but as I was telling you, just like to make it easier for us to, let's say, to check. That is why I put them in here. I want to give you a couple of minutes, okay? You analyze the pictures and you match with the phrases. 2 minutes starting now. Okay, time's up. Let's have a look at the images actually. As I was saying, the intention is to match them with the expressions that we have in here. Let's see what we can get. I'm going to ask, the last person that I asked was Catherine. Kiara, what about this first picture, the man on the bus? Which of these phrases do you think
Pain.
describes What is happening to him? Okay, faint. Absolutely. Very good. Let me ask Maria Vega. What about this picture where we see a person cooking, you know?
Could your finger?
At your finger. Absolutely. Let's now look at the next picture. This is a beekeeper. Absolutely. Let me ask Marlon Sanchez.
What teacher?
The picture where the beekeeper.
Is get a bee sting?
We have, well, actually, let me move this one. I'm sorry, it was like covering one part. What about the strawberries? Actually cut it a little bit too much. What do you think that picture can be related to, Mandy?
The heart?
Very good. Like related a little bit to an allergy that can be gotten. Well, in that case, the skateboarder, Manuela. What phrase can we, let's say, assign to this one?
Which one, teacher?
The picture of the skateboarder.
Maybe get a. Oh, no. Break your arm.
Break your arm. Absolutely. Very good. In the chat, Andres Felipe said get a rash. In the previous one when we were talking about the strawberries. Okay. Well, guys, let's go back to our book. Now we are going to continue with page 89. Let's move to part 3A. Once again, it says in groups, but we're going to do it in person, but we're going to do it as a group all together. What does the instruction say? Could you read it, please, Sergio? 3A.
3A. The first one, you put your finger. The second one, you burn yourself on a hot pan. Third one, someone faints. Four, someone breaks his or her arm. 5, obvious stingy. 6, you get a rash on your face after eating strawberries.
Okay, very good. Guys, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes so you can think of what you should do on these situations. Probably you don't really know, let's say, how to deal or how to react with all of them. And maybe you have already had some experience with some of these situations, okay? So I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to think of the possibilities. Probably you're going to say, okay, I have already had experience with 2, only 1, or maybe none of them, but in my opinion, I should do this, this, and that. By the way, do you have any question related to the vocabulary in part 3A? Okay. So I was telling you, I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and then as a group, we're going to share our ideas, what we should do on a situation, or well, on any of these 6 situations. Look at them, analyze them. 3 minutes starting now, guys. For the moment, we're going to do only 3A, just to clarify that part.
Hi.
Yes, Beatrice, I noticed that you had problems with the connection. For the moment, we are, let's say, analyzing the 6 situations that we have in here, like you are taking notes. And then we're going to share as a group what we should do in these 6 situations, okay?
Okay,
That is why we're like all in silence.
okay, thank you.
Welcome. Well, let's begin. What about number 1? I would like to know Mendy's opinion. What should you do if you cut your finger?
Okay, if I got my finger, I don't know what to do, but probably I clean the clean the fork
Okay.
and clean my finger and use a topic and I don't know.
Use a, what did you say, Mendy? You said use a, but I couldn't get it. Andy.
Tell me, teacher, excuse me, I'm driving.
Ah, okay. Well, be careful. No, I was asking you like what you meant that
I'm
use a topi or something. I didn't get that one.
yes, I'm driving to my home.
Okay. Manuela, do you have the same, let's say, approach that Mandy has, or do you have a different idea of what to do when you cut your finger?
Yes, teacher, stop the bloating,
The bleeding?
the bleeding, okay, sorry. And then get something for put on the cut, maybe a
put
cure
on the
to
cut.
put the cut, maybe a curban, I don't know how to say curban or,
You mean maybe a Band-Aid?
okay, a Band-Aid, yes.
Okay, very good. That's the one. Sergio, what about the second one? You burned yourself on a hot pan. What should you do? Or what we should do?
I think I know a recipe, like a recipe in my house, and you use onion.
Onion.
You put, yes, you put onion in the
On.
in that place in your burn.
Okay. Red onion or spring onion?
Spring onion.
Okay. And what does it do, Sergio? What is like the effect that the onion has?
The fact that I know is, I don't know how to say that. The recuperation is more
Recovery.
faster.
The recovery is faster?
Yes.
Sergio, interesting. This is the first time that I hear that you can actually put onion, a spring onion. Well, just to clarify, spring onion is cebolla larga, no? And let's say regular onion would be what we call cebolla cabezona. So which one, the spring onion or just onion?
Yes, teacher, spring onion.
Okay. Sergio, thank you very much for sharing your experience. Maybe let's see if Valentina has a different strategy compared to what Sergio said with the onion. What should you do if you burn yourself on a hot pan? Valentina Ortiz. Valentina. Not even in the chat. Right. Not here then. Vanessa. Same strategy using onion or something different? Vanessa Zambrano.
Hi, teacher.
Ahí.
The second, I need use cold water in the area affect or in the affect area. Yes.
In the affected area.
I don't not use ice direct because is como quema
It burns. Yeah, burn is quemar. Okay, so actually it like continuous burning. That would be like the idea if we put ice. That's the thing, right, Vanessa?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. What about if someone faints? We already had a look at the picture of what faint means. Xiomara, what we should do if someone faints?
Okay, teacher. Uh, I call the ambulance.
Okay. Yeah, if, that would be one thing to do. Let me ask Jessica, would you do the same if someone faints, or you would do something else first? Jessica,
Where, teacher?
I'm asking you about number 3. What you should do when you see that someone faints?
Oh, call to emerging, emerging,
Call
emergencia.
emergencies?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, one of the
Teacher,
oldest tricks, yes, Jorge.
you could support your head and you could put alcohol in your nose.
Alcohol. Well, to the other person, because when you are fainting.
Yes,
Mhm.
in her or his head.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask for like an extra experience on that area. Vanessa, yes, you raise your hand. Thank you, Jorge.
The person should be placed their back and raise their leg, o sea, como alzar las piernas.
Well, like elevate legs.
Or loosen their clothing.
Their what?
Loosen their clothing.
Their clothing. Mm-hmm.
Como sol.
No, but what you said, it is okay, Vanessa. Loosen their clothing. Mm-hmm. So for example, if the shirt is too tight, to open it, and also, let's say, belt, let's put it like that, the person, yeah, what you said was perfect, Vanessa. Andres Felipe says, when I eat a lot of sweets, yeah, actually, you have to be very careful. That is the one that happens in that case. Very good. Let me, let's continue with the other one, number 4. I'm going with the first person in our list. Well, Andres will eventually tell us in the chat. So in the meantime, I'm going to ask Beatriz. When someone breaks his or her arm. Andrés, mientras tanto, usted también me escribe esa, la cuarta. While Beatriz shares her experience. What to do?
Teacher, for me, I go to emergency, and while I go to emergency, I try to stop the heart, or I don't continue break.
So you don't continue like breaking. Is it okay? Is it okay to take like a painkiller, you know, in the meantime, or only after doctors actually have a look at the injury?
Look at the injury.
Yeah, for example, let's say that someone breaks, let's say an arm. Is it okay that in the meantime, the person takes, let's say, tramadol before the doctors arrive, or we have to wait until the doctors arrive in order to take medicine? That is more like my question.
No, teacher, because for me, I had an experience with my sister. In this moment, a nurse attendant and the recommendation for the stop the moving the arm and immediately to urgency, and not eat any medication, because
don't and not to take
don't to take
not eat, take
no, take Medicaid,
medication,
because maybe your broker is not possible put the, how do you say, yeso?
I forgot.
Bueno,
The,
if the doctor considered not put
the
the yeso,
cast. The
cat,
cast. Cast.
then I need a
Surgery.
surgery. Is not recommended to take other medical because it's possible you have a surgery.
A surgery.
surgery.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's good information, Beatriz. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Well, let's have a look at Andres's answer. It says, when I was a kid, I fell off a swing, but I didn't break my arm. Immobilize his arm. I was talking about the gesso thing, I guess. And it's a blessing. I have never broken my arm or leg. Actually, it is. I haven't had that experience either. What about when a bee stings you, Diego? What you should do, you know, there is a very common remedy that we have here. I dare to say that all of us know it, but maybe you are way too young, but we'll see. Diego, what should you do when a bee stings you?
If the person is allergic to the bee stings, call the ambulance and give the person to hospital.
Take the person to the
Take the
hospital.
person, okay.
That it will be like a very dramatic case, absolutely.
And if the person is not allergic to the bee stings, applicate caladril.
Okay. Well, Diego, actually your solution is very elegant. Applying caladril on the sting.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I was thinking about something else, but it doesn't matter. What about when you get a rash on your face after eating strawberries, Hamilton?
Teacher, RAS is with allergy?
Yeah, it is connected to the allergy.
Teacher, but depends if I am allergic, but the best is go to the doctor immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, but in this case, we're not talking about, let's say that extreme situation that, of course, if you're allergic, that happens to, but let's say that you just ate it, probably, you know, that also happens to people sometimes when they eat pineapple, that it gets a little bit red. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but not like as complicated as an allergy. So more like going to, you know, that scenario. Actually,
Teacher,
in my case,
because
I don't
for
know.
me,
Yeah,
me it's the first time that I heard that a rash with strawberries.
Let's imagine also with another fruit, like pineapple. But have
Yes,
you
for
had
example, nuts or other things.
Okay, and well, with other things, have you had any experience in particular, or what you should do, or what have you heard that should be done?
For example, put the face in a good water, for example.
Okay, like in a, like, I don't know, a recipe, yeah, like on a plate or something. I was going to say another
Yes, in a plate, put the face to get cool and the inflammation down.
The swelling.
The swelling. Thank you.
Okay, it like decreases. Okay, guys, very good. Thank you for sharing all your experiences. The one that didn't share the experience, don't worry. We will have more opportunities today to share your ideas. And well, the people that I asked, of course, shared some of the remedies and strategies that they have seen or they have used or they consider would be a good idea for the 6 situations that we already read. As I was telling you, for the moment is, let's say, just with your own experience. Now, on the next part, well, you have the information in the book. Here we have, as you see, more strategies or more possible things to do in order to, let's say, decide what should be done with these 6 situations. I'm going to read the instruction. It says, decide which 2 answers from this part, remember 2, from A to L could go with each question from 1 to 6. So here we have all this amount of, let's say, answers that maybe they are similar to what you have shared, or maybe they are a little bit different. Let's read all of them. Please read from, what is the list? From A to F. Jorge.
Yes, teacher.
Could you read them,
A.
please?
Put the bar in cold water. B. Try to stop the bleeding by pressing on it. C. Wait for her to come down. D. Phone for an ambulance. E. If possible, don't move the person or her arm. F. Stop eating strawberries. You may be allergic to them. G. Don't put a plaster on it. H. If it's a deep cut, see a doctor. I. Don't put cream or anything on your skin. G. Phone a doctor if you feel dizzy or breathless. Breathless. Okay. Make sure she is comfortable and in a safe place. L. If the area becomes swollen, put some ice on it.
Okay, Jorge, thank you very much. Well, you know, actually, I had told you to read until F, but then you continued, so I decided, okay, I'm not going to stop the enthusiasm. But thank you. That was okay. Well, guys, as I was telling you, the idea is to match these answers to the 6 situations that we have in here, okay? You're going to notice that actually there is one that we can repeat based on what it is being asked. Do you have any questions, guys?
No, miss.
Okay, so match all these answers with the 6 questions. I'm going to give you, once again, 5 minutes, and you are going to notice that some of your answers are actually similar. Of course, in other cases, we have, let's say, complete different ideas, and that's okay. 5 minutes is starting now. Okay, let's see how you matched the situations to the statements. What about for the first situation? Let's remember that the first situation was you cut your finger. Karen Juliet, which two answers did you assign to that one, to number one?
B, try to stop the bleeding by pressing on it.
Mhm.
And H, if it's a deep cut, see a doctor.
A deep cut. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Katarina Alexandra, what about the second situation? It was, let's refresh our memory, you burned yourself on a hot pan.
Put the burn in a cold water. A.
In cold water.
And maybe phone for an ambulance. Or maybe don't put cream or anything on your skin.
That would be I. But you know, actually, in some cases, it is better to put cream. There is.
Yo puse solo.
You put only one.
Yes.
Okay, and it is
Only
correct.
put the burn in cold water.
That would be it. Okay, Catherine, that's okay. Let's ask Kiara for help. Maybe she can tell us the other one that she included in the situation that is the second one. Kiara Martinez.
Yes, teacher, but I think is this put the burn cold water and don't put cream or anything on your skin. Or maybe don't put a plaster on it.
That's one that we can use in this case. Also, that can be used in another one. We'll see in a moment which is the other one that actually can include that answer. Thank you, Kiara. Maria Vega, what about the third situation? It was when someone faints.
Maybe make sure she is comfortable and in a safe place.
That is which letter? Hey, right? Yes. That is one. And which would be the other one?
Phone for an ambulance.
Could be, but you know, then there would be one situation which the answer wouldn't match to the context. Because you already said that, okay, if the person definitely doesn't like get better, we have to call the ambulance. I guess that would be the most proper solution when the situation is really, really complicated. But there is one that it is more connected. Let's ask Marlon. Probably he can help us. Marlon, Maria already said K. Which is the other one that we can use for situation number 3 when someone faints? Marlon?
Yes, teacher.
Sorry.
See, wait for him or her to come around.
To come round. Very good. As I was telling you, it is not like it is incorrect. It is that then other situations would definitely be way too different and wouldn't match, let's say, the answers that we are expecting. Let's continue with situation number 4. Let's remember it was someone breaks her arm. What would be the two answers for that one, Mandy?
Teacher, the letter E, if possible, don't move the person or his or her arm.
And one more.
And
Maybe phone for ambulance.
Let's keep the ones for the ambulance for this situation in particular. Let's continue with situation number 5. A bee stings you. Manuela, which two of these answers would actually help us?
For number 5, teacher?
Yes.
What is, I don't see. Maybe if the area becomes slower, put some ice on it.
Okay.
And I don't know, I'm not sure. Don't put cream or anything on your skin.
Well, but the one that you say actually matches, but then
it's for number 5, right?
Yeah, number 5.
Swollen is inflammado?
Yes. So what did you say?
If the area becomes swollen, put some ice on it.
Okay.
I am not sure. Maybe don't put cream on anything on your skin, but I am not sure.
Could be. I can move it. That would be it. And then the ones that we have left, as I was telling you, in some cases, we actually can, it is okay. We are able to, we're allowed to repeat them, but as I was telling you, then for example, the one with the strawberries would have been assigned to a situation that doesn't match. That would be the case for number 6. It says stop eating strawberries. Probably it's like the most obvious from the whole list that we have in here. And then in the case of, we have a more complex allergy. We have J, phone a doctor if you feel dizzy or breathless. Of course, we have not already, let's say, decide what to do when it is a very complex allergy. If it is only a rash, probably that would be it. But if the situation gets a little bit more complicated, well, we would definitely have to, let's say, call someone. Very good. Well, this part took a lot of time. Now, guys, let's go to our book now. Not the book, sorry, the presentation. Let me share the whole screen once again. Well, the first part has been all related to vocabulary. We have been talking about different situations. Of course, our focus has been talking about different, let's say, injuries. Some of them a little bit more demanding and problematic than the others. And the idea now is to move to the grammatical part. When I was presenting the unit, I was telling you that there are 2 aspects of grammar that we will be studying in this final unit. The second topic, it is going to be used to, but the first topic is talking about past continuous. Guys, when we say continuous, what is the idea? What does it mean? I'm asking you. When we say continuous, what's the intention?
Teacher, when the action continue in the future.
In the future, but notice that it begins with
in the
past.
present,
No,
Teacher,
present.
when the action start in the past and don't stop in the present.
The action starts in the past and doesn't stop in the present. That sounds like present perfect,
perfect.
Mandy. ¿Qué pasó y está sucediendo ahora? No. Past continuous means, yes, someone else?
And don't specify if finish the action.
That's a little bit tricky. When we're talking about past continuous, we're talking about actions that were in progress in the past. When we said present continuous, which was one of the, let's say, explanation that you were providing, like in this moment, we can say that we are studying English. That is present continuous. But now we're going to take those situations into the past. The idea is that when we give the idea, we see like the action in progress, but in the past, not in present. So we're going to have a look at some reminders, like some aspects, let's say, to refresh our memory about when we're talking about past continuous. So the first aspect to keep in mind is that we will always have, let's say, two combinations. Let's call them combinations. The first one is talking about was, and the second one is talking about where. As you already know, we have always like two differences when we're talking about the verb to be. I'm going to read the example that we have in here. It says, at 2 yesterday, Tom was playing soccer. So we can imagine that the situation that was happening in the past is this action in progress. That was the action that he was having yesterday at 2 p.m. The next one says, Sophia wasn't home last night when I called her. I think she was working. So in that moment of the previous night, that was the action that the person was developing. As you notice from the sentences, we are talking about two elements that are, let's say, an obligation when we are talking about past continuous. Number one, talking about the verb to be. You already know that usually was, would always, usually not, would always be about singular nouns for the moment we have the pronouns, and where would be assigned to everything that is plural. Plus the second part with the verb in ing. We already know that the ing means progress. It's very important to recognize or to remember, guys, that we need the two things. It is incorrect if we say, for example, she was asleep or she is sleeping. It is not like, okay, but somehow we get the idea. To get the idea is because we have both components, the verb to be, and of course, let's say the main verb with ing. When we're talking about negative statements, it's pretty simple. Everything that contains verb to be, when we are talking about the negative form, all that we have to do is to add not, okay? We don't need any other auxiliary. The verb to be is special itself. And that is why when we want to make the negative form, we have to use not. That's the idea of the past continuous when we're talking about those actions that take progress in past. So we start thinking, I was studying, they were reading, we weren't playing, thinking about those things in progress in past. But guys, remember, in English, not all the verbs can go in continuous form. Probably you remember that from our first cycle. There are some cases that we find certain verbs, let's call it special verbs, why not? Actually, the technical name is stative verbs because they are talking about states and not actions. Let's not compare them to Spanish, you know, because when we see these verbs and we check the meaning of the verbs, we say, but I can say queriendo, I can say olvidando. Like for us, that action in progress makes sense. Yes, in Spanish. In English, it's or you do the action or you don't do it. That's it. There is no like halfway. Like llegando, some cases in English that doesn't make sense. Notice the verbs that we have in here. Want, like, love, and hate. Probably the most common stative verbs that exist. Know, need, see, well, like, they're all come in here. Here as well. Believe, understand. In this case that we are talking about have is in the context of possession. Why am I clarifying this part? Remember that have is also used when we're talking about food or meals, like having dinner, having lunch, have a coffee. So in those cases, it can be used in the continuous form. But when we're talking about possessions, we can't. Once again, maybe we think in Spanish. Yo puedo decir, yo estaba teniendo. That's Spanish. Okay, so not all verbs can go in continuous form, just like a perception that English has. Look at this example. You had to use then past simple. You said, I liked Rome. It is not correct to say I was liking. That maybe we listen to people using I was liking. I mean, it is not going to be like an impossible case, but then it would be grammatically incorrect. I'm going to put like an example in Spanish of the situation. We already know that in Spanish, the verb haber somehow it is a little bit complicated when we're talking about the conjugation. And I guess that even at some point we have said that once, and we have heard people that say, for example, hubieron muchos accidentes. And we know that that conjugation is incorrect, right? But we get the idea. And we say, bueno, obviamente no se dice hubieron. We know that it is and blah, 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 blah. Somehow the same happens in here. Maybe the person says, I was having a headache. I was knowing the answer. You get the idea, like, okay, I know what you mean, but that is not the correct way to say it. So I'm not telling you that you won't in your life ever listen to someone, let's say, conjugating the verbs in this way. Of course, many times, but that is not the correct way to do it because there are some verbs, special ones, in this case, because they are states that shouldn't be used in continuous form. You will see them, of course. That is the correct way? No. Guys, do you have any questions for the moment? Is it clear the list of verbs that we will always use it in simple forms? Could be present simple or past simple. That would be it. Questions? Let me see the chat maybe.
Teacher, how the different, or how do you know the different past simple and past continuous?
The idea of past simple is that the action is finished. I studied. So the perception that I get is that it was concluded. While when we use continuous, the idea or the perception is that the action was in progress. So that is basically like the main difference. At the end of the day, both actions belong to the past, right? But let's say that the intentionality changes a little bit. I'm emphasizing probably to what was happening around, like the context, and that is why I use continuous. While in the case of the simple is mentioned, it's something that is already finished. Like would be the same example with present simple and present continuous. Simple, the action is like already there, probably part of a habit, part of a routine, but the progressive is like the idea that it is happening in the moment. It is a progression, but at the end, both of them are present.
Okay.
Okay, something else. Andrés was saying, ¿qué está sucediendo? ¿Qué pasó? Y está sucediendo ahora. ¿Qué pasó y qué estaba sucediendo? To make the difference between past simple and past continuous. Let's say that for the moment, in this unit in particular, we are not talking about present. The whole context or the whole intention goes into the past, okay? I'm going to jump a little bit to this part. Because, well, for the moment, let's say that the main point or the main idea has been placed into past continuous because it is like the new information of the night. But we never talk only in continuous forms. When we are talking about the experiences and probably things that happened, we always combine using past simple and also using past continuous. And in that way, like putting those tenses together, what we tell somehow looks more robust, you know, and not only isolated sentences. Look at these three examples that we have in here. It says, I was walking along when I felt something sting my hand. Let's have a look at number 2. As I was standing there, my hand started to become swollen and red. And number 3, while we were waiting at the bus stop, something flew into my eye. So notice that we are combining continuous form and simple form. And as I was telling you a few seconds ago, what is the idea of the continuous? It is giving us the background of the situation. Like I was studying in the class, I was walking to my house, I was driving the car, and then the main event, let's say like the important part, would be in past simple. Notice in the 3 examples, if we compare the 2 sentences that make the 3 examples, the ones in past simple are actually the main events of the story, like the most important part of the situation that is going on. I felt something sting, My hand started to become swollen. Something flew into my eye. While when we analyze the situations that are in past continuous, they are all context, like the background. So now we know past simple. I know that you do. You are already familiar with that topic. Let's say that we are including past continuous, and the idea is not to have like two separated sentences. The idea is to put them together in order to enrich what we say. And in which moments we can put them together when we are telling a story. So the background, like the general context, is going to be past continuous. And when we tell the main event of the story, it's going to be past simple. Okay? Guys, questions? I'm going to drink some water in the meantime. Okay. Well, guys, actually tomorrow, probably you have already checked our agenda of this cycle. Tomorrow says that it is more, I want to say inclined to practice a little bit the grammar of this unit in particular. So I don't want you to feel worried because we're about to finish the first part of the session. And maybe you have questions and maybe you want to practice a little bit more. Tomorrow is going to be the day that we're going to assign some time to refresh this topic in particular, and also one of the topics that we have been studying in the previous units. So don't worry, we will practice this tomorrow. And remember, guys, that also tomorrow we are going to work on our project, the third advance. Okay, guys, do you have any question?
I don't have questions.
Okay. Well, guys, so for the first part of the session, that would be it. Remember, tomorrow we're going to practice this topic a lot. So see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.